Is Bianca Belair wrong with this hot take? It's an interesting hot take. I will give her that. Some people will agree, some people won't. And it's not anything you would actually think would be the case. Now, what she's talking about, it's the WWE Unreal series. I'm sure some of you have at least seen clips of it. It aired on Netflix. It was very controversial at the time because some fans thought, why would WWE go out there and expose the business like that? Whatever happened to kayfabe? Others thought, hey, this is a good opportunity to give fans a new look into the business, right? Because they didn't peel back the curtain to a certain degree because, well, it's a WWE. Anytime you're dealing with a sports entertainment company, throw up in my mouth because I just said that, pro wrestling, they will only give you what they want you to see, okay? Just because WWE is giving you a behind-the-scenes peek doesn't mean that it's exactly everything that you would see if you just showed up randomly on a backstage episode of SmackDown and watched it from that viewpoint, right? Now, Bianca Belair, she's been around this game for a while. She's been in WWE for a while. She's seen those come and go. She's seen people go to the main event and fall back down. They've seen people get released, right? She's been around. She's seen this game throughout. She's seen the evolution of the business and WWE. From NXT to SmackDown to Raw, you name it. She's been there, she's seen it, she's done it. So what does Bianca Belair have to say about the WWE Unreal series on Netflix? Now, before I get into her take, quickly, here's my viewpoint. I think the WWE Unreal series was a very fascinating concept. They did an extremely good job with it. Do I like the fact that they have peeled the curtain so far back? No. Call me a traditionalist, and I'm a writer. I've been covering pro wrestling for years. Okay? So it's a little bit of hypocritical. But it's always cringeworthy of, Vince Russo back in the day with WCW saying, oh, well, Bill Goldberg went off the script. Let's not talk about that. Let's not say heel or babyface on television. Let's not say he broke kayfabe on television. Let's not do that. So there's a fine line. She did an interview with Muscle and Fitness, and she addressed the common criticism that wrestling is fake. She believes that the new Netflix series can help change that perception by showing fans the immense amount of work that goes into the product. She said, we're trying to change the misconceptions of wrestling because some people just think it's fake and they immediately write it off. People really understood what's going into it, what goes into a storyline, what goes into behind the scenes, what goes into it when things don't go right. Okay, I get that. Now, look, she explains that the show could help people outside the wrestling world understand skill and the artistry involved in live performances. She said there are so many moving parts. It's just not about going out there and hitting moves. It's about connecting with the audience. It's about telling a story. I think that if people really saw the art and skill of it and how it all comes together, they would understand. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. I'll tell you why. I think you have to be open-minded to something in order to enjoy it. Right? I think you have to look at it and go, oh, this is pretty cool. This is pretty fun. But I think you can't be closed-minded to it going into something, right? And I also think that a Netflix series is not going to get that done. I understand that Netflix has tried to replicate the success of Drive to Survive, which is the F1 show. They did it with NASCAR. They did it with the NFL, right? Now WWE. I think F1 was a special thing. F1's a really big sport internationally. I think it was just kind of a one-off. NFL hasn't been able to replicate the same success. NASCAR hasn't been able to replicate the same success. So, I don't know. I didn't hear any of my non-wrestling friends talk about this show. I just don't see that. Could be wrong. I just don't see how that's going to gravitate towards. A lot of people, they look down upon wrestling. They think less than pro wrestling. I haven't even watched the full show, and I'll tell you why. I got 4 episodes in. I think there's 5. I was able to watch him after I had covered it. What do I mean by that? Well, in today's day and age, because it was released at midnight, I'm up at 5 working, and I'm covering clips, right? And I'm transcripting, and I'm writing, and I'm producing articles, and I'm creating content coming out of the show before I watch the full show because of clips, right? So I pretty much got the whole narrative of the show. And you understand that, like, okay, this is where they're going, this is where they're going, this is what happened. It's all in past tense. It's nothing current or going into the future. So it's like, we kind of know how this plays out. Oh, this was interesting behind the scenes. Oh, this person said this. Oh, this happened there. A la, there was a pitch for CM Punk to win the Royal Rumble. It ultimately went with Jey Uso because of Michael Hakes, right? I think you have to talk about that. Bianca Belair was not... Bianca Belair has been an interesting case because I wouldn't necessarily say she was a big focal point of the series, which is fine. 2025 has been such a weird year for her. She wins the Elimination Chamber. She was supposed to challenge Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania. That didn't happen necessarily, that singles match, because Io Sky beat Rhea Ripley episode Monday Night Raw, Women's World Championship, right? Then it went from originally Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair to Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. Io Sky defending against Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair in a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight title. Things change, right? And so when things change like that, I think you have to go kind of with the wave, with the curve, if you will. And when you do that, I think it all works out. Now, ultimately, she got injured in that match. She suffered a really bad finger injury. That sucks. But, it derailed her year. It derailed her year because at the end of the day, she has not been on television very often. And she took time off coming out of Mania. Then, she was inserted into the Jade Cargill Naomi feud at Evolution 2. And she's kind of dropped off again. Sucks. It sucks because she is a big time star. And WWE could absolutely use her. Right? So I think when we talk about that, I think it's important. I think it's important to talk about the impact of Jade Cargill, the importance that Bianca Belair, that she brings, right? But at the end of the day, WWE needs her back. We all miss Bianca Belair, and we all wish Bianca Belair was back on WWE television.